Tom, it's great to have you here. What do you say to people who, and I'll quote from a Motley Fool article, say you are among those seeking a quote-unquote bailout?
No, we're not. We're not seeking a corporate bailout in any way, shape, or form. 70% of the tenants in shopping centers are small businesses. Look, we're facing an historic national crisis. The government has taken appropriate public health actions. That has placed insurmountable strain upon our members. And all we're really suggesting is that during this period of time when we all should be focused upon the health and safety of our fellow citizens, that the government does what it appropriately should do, which is step in and support small businesses. And quite frankly, the economy as a whole. We're reacting to appropriate actions taken by the government. And as a result, retailers and restaurants have closed their doors throughout this country. And so we're just asking for action. We're very focused and hopeful that today the CARES Act will pass. There is language in there around small business protection and loans. We're hopeful that will be broadened to ensure that small businesses can not only maintain their employees, but cover all their operating expenses during this period of time of historical crisis.
So to be clear, make sure everybody caught what you just said. You're supporting this bill because it supports small businesses, which are, as you said, people with less than 10 employees are critical to your shopping malls and centers. So what would the language in this bill do both for those tenants and for you guys? I mean, what happens to people who own shopping malls?
Well, I think, to be clear, we believe this is an appropriate first step. Look, we're in the midst of an historic crisis. We don't know how long this crisis will last, whether it's a month, 2 months, 3 months. I believe that there will likely be other necessities for government action. But we believe right now it's urgent that the government step in, and the CARES Act is what's on the table right now. We applaud the administration and Congress for taking action and putting legislation in play to discuss. We think it needs to be passed immediately. I think what this act does is it provides short-term liquidity into the marketplace, which is necessary to ensure that businesses can maintain their employees and keep their and be positioned to recover from this crisis. And it's really important that companies are positioned to maintain their employees, because while I've heard some conversation around this being a sharp decline and will bounce back quickly, if companies don't have employees, whether it's in the retail industry or any other industry, once this crisis abates, and it will abate at some point, if you don't have employees, it's very hard. The ramp up to get back to really be positioned to serve your customers is going to be a much longer one than it would be if you're able to maintain your employees. That's why I think government action is so important, and we are supportive of tying that support back to employee base.
I mean, do you think the government can really save retail jobs in America? It's such a key part of the employment picture in this country. Do you have faith that these kind of bills can really keep Americans working in this sector for an extended period?
Well, look, 1 out of every 4 jobs in the United States is retail related. If you want to save the U.S. economy, it's really hard to do that without leaning into the retail segment. I think every job that's saved is important. And so obviously there has already been actions taken by many companies, not just in retail, but throughout the U.S. economy, to already adjust their headcount. That's why I think time is of the essence. That's why I think passage of CARES today and then moving on to the next recovery bill, because I think there will be a next iteration. We've been very, and you mentioned the letter that I sent to the administration and Congress last week, we've been very focused upon suggesting that there should be a broad-based, holistic approach, something like a business disruption recovery fund that would operate similar to business interruption insurance that's guaranteed and funded by the federal government may be appropriate. We are in the midst of something that we've never experienced as a country before, and we fundamentally have shut down the U.S. economy. And I think this is the time for government action.